Hello everyone, this is Light and the Light Council, and we are happy to be here with you today to share with you along this Ascension journey these messages from the Light Council. It's been a while, and I thank you if you are still listening. We do have to step away and work on our other projects. I have a lot of other projects that I am working on that I am going to be very happy to unveil to you shortly, including a class and some other fun things that I'm working on. But also, of course, I've just been traveling the Ascension journey, and very first message that I have here today, like I said, they're going to be random, so I just will stop apologizing for how random they are before I give them to you. This one says we are building the Christ consciousness. Christ is building a spiritual army by awakening the holy ones to lead the way to the new earth, to the 5D. So that's what's happening right now. The holy ones are being awakened to lead the way. And they have to be awakened because they have been asleep. And we are going to be talking about that, about who are the holy ones, but not in this particular one. But that's what's happening. And so you may be being awakened in order to step in and begin to lead the way. Lead the way how? Well, the war, this whole war is already over. It's already over. And now there is simply the manifestation of it, the falling of the old and the rising of the new. And that's all happening right now. And as it's happening, and as the vibration is rising, then the holy ones are awakened, or some people are calling them chosen ones. They are awakening all over and beginning their ascension journeys. Now there are different waves. But that's what's happening, and so they're waking up, and then they're going to light and lead the way on how to leave the destruction of the 3D world, travel through the 4th and get to the 5th, and be able to walk into the 5th dimension. So we are awakening in order to lead that way. So there was that message. That plan. Okay, so let's go back a little bit. What is the journey of ascension that I'm referring to? The journey of ascension is that of becoming an angel. Human transformation into the Christ. That's the ascension journey. Let's be clear. What is the ascension journey like that you're talking about? I'm talking about the transformation from human to Christ, where we develop our divine seed that is within us into the Christ, which is what Christ was showing us when he came the first time. He was the swan. And we were all looking at him as the swan, as if he were the only swan in the world. But really, he was the swan to show us who we are. We are swans. We are not ugly ducklings. We are swans. That means we are Christs. We are Buddhas. That is in our DNA. And now that this whole spiritual war is over, we are going to transform into our Christ selves. That is a journey. And that is the journey that we're going to be talking about on this channel. I think we talked about routines. I covered routines in the Lyghtpost. I hope you're following my blog, because I did not take a break on the blog. So there are articles there to catch up on. And I won't necessarily be repeating what I put on the blog on these channels, because some things I can say and some things I can't say. But yes, I believe that we talked about routines, and routines are so crucially important as you are traveling along your ascension journey. You need to develop, it is recommended that you develop a daily routine as a way of balance, because a daily routine is going to bring in discipline, and it is going to be your anchor throughout this process. It is the beginning of self-care for yourself, to be able to set a routine. I'm talking about, those along their ascension journey where you've stepped away from the world, where you've stepped pretty much away from the world, and you're not in the everyday society. You have your own thing. You may be a hermit. You just have stepped away from the worldly society, and so you're probably pretty much alone. And if you have your own thing, if you are becoming sovereign in every aspect of your life, it can feel like you're just completely and utterly alone. Even though you do reach out to others, all of our journeys are different. And so as we let go of different parts of our worldly lives, we stop working out in the society. We have our own streams of income. We have our friends and family have dropped out of our lives, and our new tribe has not come in yet. That you're in that difference. You're in the shedding stage. You're not watching much television or involved in any kind of social media. So you're just out there. And it can feel like you're just in space without gravity, because you have nothing to, other than the sun and the moon. You have nothing to kind of anchor yourself with. So that's why putting a routine in place is so very much important. It is going to be your lifeline when you're in that state of gravity, non-gravity. You're traveling from the third dimension through the fourth, and fourth can be there are days where you don't know what's real maybe and what's not real, and it's just a very good way, routines are, to anchor yourself in inner peace by returning to your routine over and over again. And since it's your routine, you may change it as you see fit. So if you could go back to that Lyghtpost, I'm not going to go through the whole thing here and all the benefits of it, but if you could go back to that blog, to the Lyghtpost blog, and go over routines, because they did want to talk about that in detail. Our tribes are coming. That's what they're saying. Our tribes are coming. So if you are in that stage, where you have let go of you're letting go, you're shedding, and you've let go of friends and family, and you're just kind of walking quite alone. That is required. It's required for us to walk quite alone for some time. And who knows how long that time is, but it could be years. But I feel there's a huge wave of us where our tribes are coming in. And you hear that all the time, and you think, they just come in such a very, I would say, unexpected way. So just keep your heart open to who your tribe is. And you're going to know, because you're going to just feel this wonderful feeling inside you. That just feels like home. It just feels like, like like your home neighborhood. That's what it feels like. It feels like your home neighborhood. And that could come through people that you don't even know, but something about them, you just recognize your tribe. So yeah, it could be a singer with a song who put out a song, or their whole vibe, and you're just like, oh my God, these are my people, these are my peeps. It could be, the voice of someone through a podcast in which you just know these are my peeps. So yes, our tribes are coming in, and we are very excited about that. Say that sometimes we have to travel in the in-between for a long time, or what feels like the in-between for a long time. And that can feel like you're working on yourself, you're working on yourself, but you're still in chaos, or you're still in an uncomfortable place in which you're trying to adapt and learn and release. But sometimes we're feeling like, we're stagnant. Nothing is happening. That which I am working on has not come through yet. And that which I have let go of has not disappeared yet. And I'm still just in this yuckiness, this yucky energy. And it's been a long time. I'm talking about lumps of 4 years times, 6 years times, 7 years times. And you're still just on the grind, with the old still in front of you and the new not manifested yet, and very, difficult situations that you're dealing with. Oh, well, here's the deep breath and the release. If you feel like that is your story. Because this is the learning and the mastering. This is the learning and the mastering. It's not like a class, right? Where we just go and we get this concept and like, boom, we're on to the next level. Nope. It's not that. Especially as we are doing self-mastery. But yes, so we are making these huge, giant footsteps of self-mastery. And that takes time. That takes time and practice. Time and practice. Time and practice. Or you put what it is you're learning and mastering in place here. But, so anger is a huge one. Anger is a huge one. So learning and mastering your anger, how you respond in anger, how you react in anger. First of all, you have to learn what your pattern already is. And then to be able to observe how do you respond in anger, to anger. And then what is the correct way, or what is the higher vibrational way? What is the more loving way? What is the higher perspective way that we are going to respond as our divine seed blossoms to anger? Well, that's a huge learning. That is a huge mastering. And so that may take, obviously it's something that you're going to continuously work on. But for some, those who are being awakened and to become leaders, those holy ones, those chosen ones, you get put through like a very, what do you want to call it? Concentrated training through your ascension journey. A concentrated training through your ascension journey. So yes, even though we're mastering anger and it's going to take all of our lives, you might be put through a very concentrated period of which you need to master your anger. And you will have a teacher who is going to teach you how to do that. And then, let's say that's Thich Nhat Hanh. Let's say that you are watching him and you are learning how to master your anger, and you have chosen this way to do it. Well, that's wonderful. But then there's going to be all of these opportunities for you to apply. Apply and practice, apply and practice, apply and practice. And with anger, as you're mastering anger. And what does that mean? That means you're going to be in extremely concentrated, volatile situations in which your anger buttons are going to be pushed over and over and over again over a long period of time to learn to master that anger. So that's a long period of times where things have been very difficult for you and may have felt like stagnancy. But you have to remember now, and it is up for me to remind you, we are learning and mastering huge, huge things, difficult and miraculous. And even more so, what they're showing me is like this giant shackle just falling off you once you begin to master anger and your anger and how you respond to anger and how you, all of that. Once you begin, so yes, this is what we're doing. This is important work. Yes, shadow work is included in this. You could say it's shadow work, but let's be specific. What is shadow work? What are we doing? Well, yes, we are learning and we are mastering very big things, and especially when it seems like things are stagnant but volatile. That means they're giving you opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Oh, you missed that test. Okay, here it is again. You can go through it, with this person. Oh, you missed that test. Let's see, here it is again. So we have to be on our P's and Q's and knows what we are doing. Let's remind ourselves what we're doing. Yes, we are just living. Yes, we are just breathing. But we are also ascending and becoming more of we are rising to meet our higher selves. And then we will melt together with our higher self and become the Christ. We're shedding who we are not. And we're mastering who we are through love. And sometimes that looks like chaos for long periods of time. But when you get to that point where you can see the difference in how you were before with anger and how you are now in your self-practice, along your ascension journey with anger, then you can see that nothing has been stagnant. No, nothing has been stagnant. You are in a college of ascension, so to speak. And, you're not just chilling, watching movies. You got these hard tests that come. And, yes. So that. And forgiveness. That's another big one. Learning and mastering forgiveness. Yes, we know it's a big one. And it just sounds all like boring. Yes. But this is forgiving yourself. As we, are digging and as we are shedding, we have to be able to forgive ourselves. Plus, as we go through these tests, like we talked about with the cleansing and the purging, we find ourselves acting in ways that are, we're not proud of. So you have to forgive yourself for all of these things that seem that we don't even know that you have been holding against yourself. So great forgiveness, learning and mastering forgiveness. And then, so that too, as you're in this concentrated ascension college, the forgiveness doesn't seem to be like a simple thing. Bam, betrayal right in your face. And other things that are very difficult, things that you imagine that you would never be able to forgive. And so over time, as we're learning and mastering, but if you don't know that you're learning and mastering, it could feel like just a stagnant period where horrible things are happening. So we're going to come back to ourselves. Yes, I am in Ascension College, probably chosen, probably a holy one. Probably this Ascension College is there to help me to step into the role of leading the way. This is not easy. What do they say? With great responsibility comes, I don't know it, but you do. Courage? Courage? Either way, it's like superhero training. This is not simple stuff that we're talking about. Not simple stuff. Forgiveness is huge. I have to be able to forgive myself and others in order to ascend. It's going to come up and right in your face, and it's going to hurt like hell. So we're talking about rage, and we're talking about pain. We're talking about anger. We're talking about forgiveness. We're talking about mastery and learning, and how that is the opposite of stagnancy. It's the opposite of stagnancy. And so all is well, even though it may seem like it's the opposite of well. All is well. This is what we are doing. We have awakened. We are stepping forward. We are on this ascension journey. Most of us who are resonating with this are going to be leaders, are in training to be leaders in some way. Maybe in a concentrated ascension journey path where, like I say, it feels like everything is the opposite of well, or it may feel like things have been very bad for a very long time and you're stagnant. And this is not the case. We are shifting our energy as we make these growing leaps. Okay, this occurs through new perspectives. New perspectives occur as you are aware, and as you are trying to practice your self-mastery for anger, as you are aware and you are trying to practice your self-mastery for forgiveness. It could be, it's like a little bit every day, a little bit every day, a little bit every day, and then this huge glacier just crashes, and you have a whole new perspective, and you get it. You get it. This veil has dropped, this wall has fallen away, and you get it. You've changed. You've changed just like that. It may seem like stagnant. You try to say that 5 times. Stagnant, and then the shift, the shift occurs, and you get it. As we are, on the, just keep, if you have your light glasses on, and you are looking at yourself through your light glasses, you are seeing all these colors of shifting energy. So your colors are changing, you're moving as your body may be standing still. All these energies that are within and around you are at different colors, are moving and changing and vibrating and making different sounds. And it's like you're a shapeshifter, always shifting and changing and shifting and changing and shifting and changing your frequency until you settle on one vibe for a while. That's not stagnancy. You're learning. That's not stagnancy. And as you learn through each instance that comes through, as you are working your way through it, just imagine your energy. Imagine your vibe. It may be going from this blood red rage, and you are transmuting the energy by applying your self-mastery, so that by the time you are done, you've transmuted that energy, you are still vibrating out the most beautiful white, purple, blue, green colors to the world. That's transmutation of energy. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing through these very volatile times. I'm here to remind you who you are, what you're doing. So take the time to see yourself as that and to recognize what you're doing, because that new perspective can be the strength that you need to overcome. It can be the rope of inner peace that you need this day to see it in that perspective. And the long periods of time that this may be occurring, could be like 4 years, could be like 7 years, or, could be just months for others, like 9 months or 24 months. You want to look at it as, for the older ones of us, as the radio stations, when you're turning that dial, especially on AM, like you might be at whatever, and then you have to turn that dial, and so there's a station on there, but you might have to turn the dial a while before you can tune into another station. Sometimes the stations are right there and they're all close together. 107.5, 109.5, blah, 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 right? But there was back before that, there was like 87.5. And so between 87.5 and 107.5, you are moving. You are transforming. You are not stagnant. But you're just in that in-between space. You're in the in-between where you are not at that other frequency level yet to where you are maintaining enough to, for things to calm down. So that's a perspective that I'm giving you so that you can apply that. And that just brings us more inner peace and more inner peace, because this is all the unknown. It is all the unknown. When you are in that in between and you've left that one vibe or station and you are traveling you haven't got to the other station yet, but the other station is higher. It is higher, right? So as you're moving that dial, the tests that come along to help you to get to that higher vibration are going to be bigger lessons, bigger tests, harder tests, bigger leaps, farther leaps. More is being asked of you. More is being required of you. And so yes, you're letting go of the worldly this and the worldly that and these people and that people and this lower vibration and that lower vibration. But you are taking on the bigger, more concentrated lessons, the bigger, more concentrated tests, the harder, you see? Yes, you see. I know you do. It's just a reminder. Okay, so that was the random channeling. So I hope that there was something helpful in that for you today, some kind of visualization that you can apply to your circumstance as you walk through that darkness. I'm getting this image that I just want you all to take with you, okay? And that is that we are on this huge arc. We are on this arc. And the arc is dark. There is no light at all. And the ones and we are traveling like through the seas and through the water. We're on this arc, traveling in the dark. The water, in the darkness. Now the water is the in-between. We are traveling from the third dimension which we have left. And we are now in the in-between, which is the water. And we are going to end up on the other side to the fifth dimension. Now on this arc, we all have different roles. A lot of people are sleeping. Some people are awakening. And then there are others who are awakening to what their roles are on the ark. You may be one who is awakened, and you are to step forward and shine your light on the ark so that everyone can see the way to the fifth dimension. You may not stay below. You may not. You are going to awaken and go through a transformation and a change and step forward up to the top of the ark and hold your light high for all to see, not just on this ark, but on the ones that are behind us. So take that with you. You are never alone. We are always with you. We thank you for sharing and joining with us today. And we'll see you next time. We will hear you next time. Be with you next time. Thank you.